Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Monday live trading webinar. I hope you had a good time on the weekend. You took some rest, and it's time to go back to our trading desk. So let's start it with the risk warning and to make sure everyone understands that this content is for general information only and is not intended to provide trading or investment advice or personal recommendations. And any information relating to past performance of an investment does not necessarily guarantee future performance. Thank you so much for your understanding. Remember, later on, you will be able to listen to your weekly fundamental analysis on the podcast section. And if you haven't downloaded the mobile application, please make sure you do that. So Rudolph said, good morning, Theo and others. Good morning, my friend Rudolph. Ruben, buenos dias, Theo. How are you doing, Ruben? Larry, good morning, Theo. Good morning, Larry. I hope you're doing great. William said, good morning, Theo and everyone. Thanks for being here again. This was supposed to be said by Theo, I think. Thanks for being here again, William. Roland, good morning, my friends. Sorin, how are you doing? And good morning. Mogiol said, good morning, Mr. Theo and everyone. Good morning, my friend. Maria Julia, hello, good morning, Maria. Ibrahim, good morning, and I assume from South Africa, right? So, let's check the MetaTrader platform right now. Okay, so everything is good. Drawing tool works. Let's start with the pound against the US dollar. Last week left us with this swing high, swing low at this point. A rejection came at this level here. And since then, the price pushed upward. But how much the price pushed? Not that much, as we can see from the price chart. It left this tail behind. It left this rejection of the higher prices all the way. Prior to the London trading session, sellers are in control, and during the Tokyo session, it's clearly visible on the chart with this one here. But again, this doesn't determine the day's outcome, correct? We need to see a close for the day to call it bullish or bearish. If you ask me what I will pick for intraday today, to be honest, I would rather sell the pound because we are in a downtrend, lower highs and lower lows. When we talk about intraday, it means we go to the lower time frames and we try to apply a strategy. We use a higher time frame for analysis and a lower time frame for execution. But remember, if you're going to use a lower time frame for execution, you always need to consider the trading levels of the lower time frame as well. It's not enough to pick up the daily chart for chart analysis and then move down to the hourly or 30-minute chart for execution and don't pay attention to any other levels on the chart rather than the daily levels. That can happen only when you want to trade the levels of the daily chart on a lower time frame to get more advantage entries. That's all. But if you use the daily chart, let's say it's in a downtrend, and you go to the hourly chart and you sell here, let's say you find a nice correction at this point here, and you're going to sell here, and you're going to have a take profit target at the low of the daily doji candle, that it was the daily doji candle here. So this low is for this hourly chart is not the target. The target must be this one here, or at least to take some profits out of the table and play with your stop loss if you want to secure the position, because there is an obvious support on the hourly chart. Okay, try to avoid this mistake that many traders they do. Even if you do the 4-hour chart as your higher time frame and you execute on the 1 hour or 30-minute chart, just make sure if there are obvious levels on the trading time frame, you mark them on your charts and you take some profits or protective stops around these levels, because maybe the price can bounce up from here, bounce upwards like this. If that's the level, price maybe come here and then bounce upwards and then continues. We don't know what's going to happen. All right, so we enter a trade to make money. We don't enter the trade for any other reason. So we have to be careful and focus on the detail, especially on the lower time frames. Next, the euro US dollar. We have to rearrange the upward trend line. So we start from here, price make the new high, then this is the low here. And since then, price bounced upwards and then got rejected, broke to the downside. And last week's on Friday, it didn't manage to push higher. So we do expect to see some more weakness here. If it's going to ham, we don't know. That's what we do expect. Okay, same with the pound. Australian dollar against the US dollar. This is the trade we were focusing from the last week, because this bearish engulfing was signaled and then it marked the lower price levels. And then this bearish engulfing here came right at the when the Reserve Bank of Australia kept the rates unchanged, although the expectation forecast high rates, but the market once the deviation from the actual number deviates from the forecast, that's when the market they give the directional moves. And remember that. So last 2 trading days, as you can clearly see on the chart, very small bodies compared to these bodies here. It means these market participants, which when we see white color, it means there are buyers, they weren't able to, or they were unable to lift prices higher. Therefore, we do expect to see some weakness on the Australian dollar. And for me, the clearest out of all is the Australian dollar short on the lower time frames. Cherry said, hello, everybody. Hello, Cherry. Rumen said, good morning. Good morning, my friend. X-Man said, good morning to all. Good morning, X-Man. Larry, question. In the daily chart for the CHF JPY and Euro JPY, is price being rejected? On the daily chart, okay, we will check them out, both. Next one, New Zealand US dollar, similar approach with the Australian dollar against the US dollar. Price in the last few trading days, very small body compared to this downtrend. It means that it shows clearly that the downtrend is established. although we do have this support and we expected the price to break below this support because there is weakness from the buyers. Anytime, imagine guys that a support is like a spring, okay? If there are buying pressure accumulated in this area, it means there are many buy limit orders waiting to be executed in this area here. Once the price tapped into this area, it compresses the spring so much that any upward bounce from the support must be shown with an incredible momentum. How can we see the momentum in the market with large candles? But if the price tapped into the support and the candles remain very small, like this one here, compare this one with this one here, it shows that the momentum is not there, it's lacking momentum. Keep that in mind. USD JPY daily chart, or if you prefer weekly chart, price is still in an uptrend. It made this pattern here, but it's still a bullish engulfing for the body, not for the whole candle. And we really do expect to see some more continuation to the upside, at least for the time being. Anyhow, price make higher highs and higher lows. So if we use some trend filters, we can identify any buying areas that price so now currently price is at 38.2% of the FIB, and it consists with a broken swing high, so this acts as support. There is a double support as we can see from the FIB tool, but market can clearly come all the way down to tap into the 50 and 61.8%. Next one is the US dollar, Canadian dollar. I took profit, my take profit targets got triggered at this level here. Remember, we were trading the bullish engulfings from this area. So now the price tapped into an area of resistance. If we see, actually we have to wait to see a clear rejection or a clear breakout of the resistance. And again, like we checked in the cover last week, even if the price close above the resistance, we must wait. We better wait for the next candle to close also above the resistance, because there is a high chance to see a false breakout like this one here. That's what we call a false breakout. Sometimes it penetrates the resistance, sometimes just tapped into the resistance. Bullish candle at the resistance, and then the next one didn't broke upwards, but it engulfed and broke to the downside. So for today, I'm just staying on the sidelines with this one here. There are clearer currency pairs to trade. USD CHF, I'm still in this trade, but I didn't got any profits yet. Price stopped at the previous swing high. We do expect the price to continue and reach this level and retest the 61.8 FIB. Euro JPY daily chart got rejected. Let's compare it as well with the Swiss franc JPY that I don't have it here. CHF, where is CHF? daily chart, CHF, euro. I don't understand. What do you mean? On the weekly chart, though, it looks like price got rejected rather than on the daily chart. And I believe in both the euros JPY and the Swiss JPY, we can see some correction at this point here because buyers got rejected on the weekly chart. Same with the Great British Pound against the JPY, and this is looks like it's more obvious, the rejection here. So we do expect to see some weakness. I believe this week I'm going to looking more closely on the JPY pairs because there is a high chance on the lower time frames, especially to see some nice downtrends, some clear downtrends. And if you are trading intraday there, I believe it will be good to keep an eye on these time frames. For example, the Canadian dollar looks weak in general across the other currency pairs. So Canadian dollar on the weekly chart, we have the most recent and valid support to be this one here, as we can see, and resistance, the previous candle's high on the weekly chart. If we use the resistance here and the support here, then flip on the daily chart, and we have established the levels for the daily chart. Now, on the 4-hour chart, if we drop down, we can try, or on the hourly chart, we can try and find some ways to map a downtrend if we can identify the downtrend. And at this point here, we can use some channels, or we can use some trend lines, or to plot some moving averages or Bollinger Bands and apply trend further strategies to sell it, okay, with the right timing, of course. Same with the Kiwi, lower highs and lower lows, price expected to continue lower. EuroCAD, price came above this resistance, although it's been a while, we don't check the EuroCAD, but Canadian dollar and or any other euro and pound cross pairs, but Canadian dollar, due to its weakness, we see across with the US dollar, of course. If we check the weekly EuroCAD, this is a bullish engulfing and indicates that price might continue to push higher. All right, so on the daily chart, it looks like price retrace. On the 4-hour chart, it shows the trend very clear. 4-hour chart has a clear uptrend. You see lower highs, lower lows, downtrend, double bottom indicator as well, shows bullish positive divergence, and price made a high and now it's coming back. That's a crystal clear uptrend. So we can find some techniques to apply as trend strategies and buy it when the price reaches a desirable area. So 50% is here, 61.8% is there. And if you look at the left, it's not enough to find the fib number, okay, guys? I want you to look at the left and find the price, actual price support. And at this point, it's somewhere here, it's somewhere there. There is a support here around this level. So there are two springs. If the word and the spring makes sense to you when the price moves lower, okay? So imagine that if there are double force on that spring, how stronger it's going to be the upward bounce, the momentum. If you are trading 4-hour charts or even lower time frames, you can keep that in mind as well. Next one, 5 minutes for the London Open. So we can check the gold, of course. On the weekly chart, we saw the price close lower and make a new low. So it's still good for shorts. And any 4-hour charts, 1-hour charts, applying, of course, trend analysis, not blindly to sell it. Okay, just because the higher time frame shows a selling momentum, we need to go to our execution time frame and apply our strategies, right, guys? For Cherry asked, for euro pound, is it forming an inverse head and shoulders on daily or is too far away? Euro pound daily. Inverse head and shoulder. Yep, looks like a nice one. Spot on. Yep. Looks like an inverse head and shoulder. Let's see the neckline if it's going to confirm. Next one, WTI. For our chart from here, when we map the with the channel, multiple rejection at this top. Price approach is a strong area of resistance. As you look at the left, maybe on the weekly, it's more obvious. You see, there is touch here, touch there, touch there. There is a strong area of resistance. We might see the price correct, if not create a bearish engulfing and continue downwards. But what can we say here is that price is at a transition mode, because that's the hardest part for the trader to understand what to do and when to do it. Price moved within this channel, bounce upward from the channel line, from the that's the channel line, sorry, from the channel base, and it looks like it's trying to tap into this resistance. So anything can happen. Maybe it's going to retrace a little bit and push upwards. Chances are, if we're going to see a bearish engulfing, it's a strong indication that sellers are in control, like this one here. But here we saw bearish engulfing, but not at the resistance area, not at, let's say, an inverse spring area, not at the ceiling. So we do expect to see some rejection, strong rejection here, if price is it's due for reversal. So DAX heavily sold off last week. The DAX, as you can see here, bearish engulfing on the weekly, one of the strongest signals for changing in trend. Price made new highs, multiple new highs, and the RSI made multiple new lows. That's called negative divergence. Daily chart. Here is the level on the daily chart. Look at these guys, small candles within a bearish engulfing. So it might be continued to the downside. 5-minute chart, very clear, very, very clear. That's what we want to see day in, day out. So sell stop there. And the buy stop above this high. So that's a trade for today. Ruben said 3 minutes to market open. Thank you so much for reminding. Guys, just keep in mind that from this week onwards until the first week of September, purely from experience in trading, the markets, they're gonna lack volatility and liquidity. You will see in many currency pairs that spreads, especially towards the middle of the August, next week, the spreads, they have the tendency to widen a little bit during low liquidity hours. And please be very extremely careful. Apply self-discipline, because we don't want the August where many banks are closed and many hedge funds managers and big corporations, they take their annual leaves for a couple of weeks. So there is very limited trading activity. And we don't want this to caught us in any bad trading. You know, it's better if we cannot apply self-discipline to stop trading, rather than just go and blow up our accounts in when the markets are moving sideways, just because we are bored or for whatever reason. I mean, we are working hard all these months to build up our accounts, and then to go in 1 month and just blow it up. That's not nice. Haven't got triggered in a trade yet. Waiting, still waiting. If the sellers, yep, I got triggered to the downside. Let's hope that it's a valid breakout and not a false breakout. I delete the buy stop order. Let's see if the market will continue and follow through. Looks like 1 minute left. Let's see what it's gonna do. Silver rejected the level of 23.37 on Friday. Remember, we identified this inside support as a very strong support in the market, and the price got really rejected here. Cobra, bullish candle, bearish engulfing, super strong indication of selling pressure, and we can start looking for more short plays here. Gold, we analyze the gold. Let's wait what's going to happen with this DAX. Also, guys, just keep in mind that there are only few events this week, major events, and the podcast is going to be only for a couple of minutes, because there are pretty much nothing. Only mainly what we're going to experience, it's some volatility on Thursday with the consumer price index in the US. But I will speak about that on the podcast. If the price is going to move downwards, where are the 10 pips? Somewhere here. So let's wait and see. Another 2 minutes for the completion of this 5-minute candle. I place the take profit on the 11 points, just to cover the spread. That's all. Let's see if we're going to tap in. Just tapped. We just need to cover the spread. And for me, it's I'll call it for the day. Whoop. Looks like on the lower time frame, it identifies support here. But let's wait and see what's going to happen. Guys, anyone close their position already? The 10 pips already, the 10 points already played out, to be honest. I just put one more just for the spread today. Roland, yes. Rumen, I suppose you did that. So, okay. All right. So, if the price is going to penetrate this area here, guys, I will... Ibrahim, you took 14 points. Awesome. If price is going to close above this area, I will get out of the trade. My stop loss is here. I just don't place it because I want to see a close above and not just a penetration. Okay. So, Ecomamas, hello. Now DAX is flat, 15,800 to 16. Yep, that's true. Thank you so much for the information. All right, guys, we'll leave you with this. I would like to wish to everyone to have a great day ahead, and I look forward to see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you so much.